At this stage, what you want to really focus on is layering up your painting. So I'm starting with the cast shadow first, although really you could start with the background if you wanted to. Either one, either start with the background or cast shadow and object. So I'm doing the cast shadow and then I'm going to go and address my apple in a little bit. And you're going to be putting on a couple of layers every time you paint. So during this session, put on a couple of layers. I probably put on maybe 3 during the course of painting today. So I'm starting off with the cast shadow. I'm looking really closely at my reference. I'm trying to see, is there any change or shift in color or value on that cast shadow. I'm also trying to work on creating more of a blurred edge, just because on my cast shadow it just fades out. There's like kind of an ombre there. And this can be tricky because you may improve the painting, but there might be times where you feel like you're not improving it, you're actually making it more of a challenge, which is okay. You just let it dry and you paint over it. That's the thing about painting. It keeps you on your toes. And there's always opportunities to learn. The moment you stop learning as a painter and you stop exploring and making mistakes, that's a moment where you just stay the same, and it signals like a stagnant period. So that's not really a good thing as a painter. You always want to be on your toes and learning and open to learning new things. And this can be tough because you're trying to blend. And I'm using a kind of a dry brush technique to blend here. You could try a little bit of moisture on your brush with a little bit of water. But I think dry brushing is the way to go. And you just try and bridge one color to the other and kind of feather your strokes to get it to fade or blend. And then you just zone out and have fun while you're doing it. And then you might find that as you're going, you might need to do a little bit of the background, like on that cast shadow there, I'm adding a little bit of the background to try and get that to blend better with the cast shadow. And again, you're looking for a little bit of color in your cast shadow. It shouldn't just be completely flat black. There should be some color to it. Like in mine, I saw a little bit of red plus black. I even tried red and green together. There's a little bit of green on the edge there, kind of like a peacock's feather, that kind of green, but muted, so darker. Now I'm working back on the apple itself. And then I'm going to work a little bit off camera to put on my coat on the apple. So I'm still fussing with it. I'm trying to look at the picture and get it as close to the picture as I can. I'm looking for every change and shift in value and temperature. And I'm comparing the cast shadow to the form shadow. You want to make sure that one of them is darker than the other. They can't be the same exact value. So they have to be different. Ask yourself if it's still working. It can also be helpful to take a photograph of your work. Sometimes seeing it as an image helps to see it clearly. You can see if there's any areas that you want to fix. And I've taken it off camera again and worked on it off camera, worked on the highlights, worked on the light spots, the yellow-green that's on that kind of yellow-green gold color that's on there. And I might still work on it more, but I'm going to leave it here for today. And then next time I'll go in and work on the background for the next class session. So yeah, aim for 2 coats of paint at a minimum and really try and refine it. Bring it into focus. Make sure your fruit is standing out really bright, really attracting attention. It should stand out like a jewel.